Hi, today we're in Rochester. I hope you're having a lovely day because today we are going to be building a university household because the wheel that we used to spin today spun Discover University, and we only have 48 tiles to build with because that is what the random number generator gave us today. But 48 tiles, that ain't much, So my thought process was like this. Why not build a student housing for several students, and one of these apartments could be a 48 tile big apartment, and that is the one that we are furnishing. So that is what we're doing today, and as you can see, it's a 3-story high building, and I started to build it with the symmetry, but then I realized that I had too many tiles, so I had to shrink down one of the sides and make the apartment different in sizes. Well, there are 2 different sizes you could choose from. So if you have a little bit of extra cash, you could end up taking the bigger apartment where you'll have a bigger bedroom and a bigger, dining, living, kitchen situation. It's not a kitchen, it's a kitchenette because you can't have stoves in a building for students, so I actually think that's weird. So they have a kitchenette. That's the best we could give them, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Right now I'm trying to figure out the whole roofing process, and I actually think it turned out quite cute. It's sort of like a castle-y moment. And this is an old part of town, and it's actually in the middle of town, so it's not on the campus area. So they have to travel. Well, it's not far, but they probably have to take a bus or something to campus. But this is off campus, so that's probably a nicer apartment to live in. And you don't have to share a room, you get your own apartment, so that's good. And I wanted to keep this kind of stony texture to the house, and I went for some stone at the bottom and some concrete, I would think, at the top floors. And then I wanted to get some, I don't know if it actually is wood, but I guess the door might be, but the window's probably stone as well, but it has this kind of wooden color, and that's what I wanted to bring to the build. So I kind of like it. And of course it's this build only uses base game and Discover University, and it will be up on my gallery if you want to download it, and my gallery ID is HelenSimmar, just the same as my channel name. So please feel free to check that out if you want to. I have a lot of other buildings as well. This is part 20, I think, where I work with all the different packs and game packs in this game, the whole Sims 4, and I'm working my way through all of them. And we're starting to get close to the end actually. So I think there's 4 more, and of course we have a new pack ready to be launched on October the 2nd. The day after my birthday actually, so I might actually give that to myself as a birthday gift, I would say. So that means that we will be getting another one on the wheel, because of course we have to build with that pack as well. And it's sort of a little bit of a luxury, because they all have their separate outside area. They have either a balcony or it's sort of a balcony on the ground as well, but it's only that's on the ground floor. There's no entry out of the ones downstairs, because I fenced them in as well. But at least they have somewhere to sit outside and enjoy the weather and maybe study a bit or just relax a bit. That's important as well, if you study hard. So yeah, that's the lot isn't very big, so it's not that much room. So I didn't make any area for them to hang out together. No, I didn't. They'll have to invite each other to their apartments, but well, there will be some room in the sort of staircase or the landings on each floor, where you could have some rendezvous with your Sims. There will be some seating areas to sit on, but yeah, no real area for them to hang. But I would probably prefer my own apartment instead of an area where you could hang with all the other students, because yeah, as fun as the whole university travel was, I still preferred to hang with my friends. But that might also be because I went to uni in my hometown, so I had all my old friends left, so it wasn't really that big of a deal for me. I stayed at home and I studied and I lived my life as usual. But the outside is starting to come along. I'm putting in some lights so that you could see what you're doing when you're outside, and I also made this little corner garden slot, because mostly I did it because I thought that the house looked like a box before, and I wanted something to happen to the shape of the house, and that's when I carved in a piece on each side. And yeah, that's where I put a little planter moment. And in the back we have also a little plant moment in the back where we're working right now. And sort of this, I put in this really tall tree because I thought that maybe it could be like a separation between the apartments so that they could have some privacy on their outside area as well. So yeah, the tree is blocking the view to the next door neighbor's terrace or balcony. And I put some different things there because, different Sims want different things, and I think that it came out cute, so it's mostly just some outside dining areas. I do manage to get a dining area inside, and actually a 4-seater, so you don't need to dine outside. You could dine inside. There will be room for that. It's for it to be a student apartment or a studio, I think it's relatively good sized. So you will manage to have all that you need, even in the small ones, because yeah, as I said, it's one of the small ones you will get to see me decorate, and I fit, well, I think all of the things I went to. And I put this little bench in the back because, you have this nice little area where you could sit in and watch your neighbors or whatever happens on the street. So You could go outside with your book and sit there and read and hear the birds sing or whatever you like to do. And of course, we have to have some flags and a plaque to say something about this building, and also a little bench on the front. So I don't know if they ever get used, but I see them at all the apartment buildings. There's always seating outside, and I don't know who sits there. Is it someone who is waiting for someone to get home? Or I wouldn't suppose you were to sit on that bench if you lived there, because then you would go inside, right? And sit somewhere more comfortable, like your couch. Well, I don't know. So if you usually use these benches outside of apartment buildings, let me know. Was it outside your own apartment building, or was it outside someone else's and you were waiting for someone? Yeah, let me know in the comments. So we're inside now, and we've done the sort of hallway and landings, and now we are just doing the same floor plan for every floor. So we have the bigger apartments to the right and the smaller ones to the left, and I will be decorating the smaller of the apartments on the first floor or on the ground floor, depending on where you live, what you say. But on the entry floor, where you enter the building, that's where we're going to fully furnish an apartment. And the bathrooms are all just the same, and they will be, if you download the house, they will be fully furnished, and the kitchenettes will be done. So you just have to decorate for those Sims who move in there. And I think it's actually nice to see who lives there, because they have like different hobbies and so on. So you might want to make the apartments quite different depending on what they like and dislike. And I went for the same wallpaper on the, well, all of the apartments have the same wallpaper, but they have different color swatches. So I thought it fit, because these are rentals and you rent them for a certain amount of time, and then someone else moves in, and I think they are like keeping a theme within the apartments when they rent them out. They go in and they have this wallpaper and somewhere in stock, so if a board gets destroyed, they could just put up a new one, and they don't have to redo the whole apartment. They could just do like one board or one room or whatever. And I thought this wooden siding to the bottom of the wall, I don't know what it's called, but I thought that is probably something that is very good in like a student housing. I think it would protect the walls quite a lot, and you could just pick up some paint and do a little paint job if something is being scuffed or so on. But they keep it in a good condition. They are very picky about it, and after every student leaves, they go through the whole apartment and they fix things for the next one. So it isn't like a run-down place, and not at all. They keep it very, very clean and very well. So yeah, it's a good place to stay. As I said, it costs a little more, but you could do the small apartment if your student fundings are low. And now we're starting to decorate the apartment that we fully decorate. And this is the little kitchenette, and they have, I put a full-size refrigerator there because I thought that would be nice. Since you only get to heat things up, you might want a lot of fresh fruit or fresh vegetables and something like that to try to eat healthy so that you have the stamina to study hard. And yeah, this is the big room, and this is where you have it all. You have the kitchenette, you have the dining area, and you also have your living room. And it's play tested, so it's fully functional, and you can get to all the chairs around the table. So yeah, it's nice. I like this apartment. It's kind of cheap-ish furniture because, you know, as a student, you can afford a lot of expensive furniture. You wouldn't have the funds for that. So, and it's something you see. And I wanted to keep one of the counters free so that you could do some cooking. Well, you could at least throw a salad together or fruit salad or something like that doesn't require a stove. So there's some things you can do without a stove, and you can heat your noodles in your microwave. So yeah, you could live there. And I wanted some flowers. I was seeing a girl living in this apartment actually, so there's not a lot of like small things like flowers and stuff like that, but there are some flowers. So yeah, I think a girl is living in this apartment, which could be seen in the shoes and the clothes on the rack in the entryway. They are quite girlish. But you know, you could wear heels as a guy too, if you want to, whatever pleases you. But yeah, we're on to the bedroom. And this layout is going to change because I realize a bit into this decoration that if you're a student, you would probably want a computer, and this is the only room that would fit a computer. But I wanted the drawers to be there as well, even though I have a closet in the entryway. I wanted a drawer in the bedroom as well, and yeah, it's moving to the other wall, but it still fits, so it's going to stay there. And I just moved the mirror as well, and then I had room for this desk with a very simple chair and nothing fancy at all. And I scooted the door to the room over a little bit just to make sure that there was no problem entering the door. You would probably hit the chair if it was this much out away from the desk, but you know, you could put it in and it would fit. And we're on to the last part, and that is the bathroom. And bathrooms are really boring, but yeah, we decorate it. Not so much and not so fancy, but it's there. And they have a shower because a bath couldn't fit. But they do have a bath in the bigger bathrooms in the other apartments. And please stay and look at the pictures in the end if you want to, and have a really, really lovely day. Thanks for being here. Bye.